So, like, I know we were going to continue the conversation that we started
with the guys,
just about our sensuality or
sexuality,
what's sexy, what makes a woman feel sexy, why doesn't she feel sexy,
all of that
type of stuff,
all of that.
But I feel like if I was to think about, I feel like the first time I think a woman or maybe a girl encounters a level of sexiness or sensuality, it's usually something she saw, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I mean? Or, because I don't know if I remember seeing the women in my family and was just or if
you're sexy.
Right. I'm like, was that really modeled? Like maybe TV, maybe, TV shows. I'm trying to think of anybody on TV that I remember watching at that time that I was just like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Or I like her. Or I think she's, or felt some type of way about how she presented herself. As a woman, or aspired to be, or look like, want to be like, look like. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I think it was TV. So my family totally wasn't looking sexy because I was raised in a church. Religious household. So, everybody was abiding by those rules and laws. And so sexy just wasn't probably mirrored in my house, nor was it talked about. So my first impression of what sexy probably is came from what TV said.
Right.
So just the commercials, movies, that type of thing. So looking at how, if I saw a movie that I liked, and most movies have a romantic interest, right? So when I see the way he looks at her, what she looks like when he's looking at her, that programmed my mind. What I saw guys respond to at that time, that programmed my mind. Because it definitely wasn't being talked about. What about you, Amy?
No, it wasn't talked about at all. I didn't even see it. I've been trying to rack my mind since the last conversation of who was sexy. I even had to call my sister,
wow.
So do you consider yourself sexy? Or
oh, wow.
And she was like, yes. And I'm like, you do?
You do?
About it. Yeah. And I'm like, so when
did you get that revelation?
Yeah. So I was confused because I'm like, when? Where? How? We talk all the time. She was like, yeah, I walk around in my outfits.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm always going to match, be matching. Right. And she was like, naked. I'm very sexual. And I'm like, oh.
Wow. I missed that. I missed the memo.
I missed the memo totally. Right. I just went to mom mode, right? The big gown, because I always had kids.
She said the big gown.
The big gowns, the sweatshirt because I'm cold.
Right.
I'm cold in the house.
I'm gonna have a hoodie on.
Yeah, I never thought of myself sexy. So and then I guess when I would be considered sexy, I was maybe a teenager or, or whatever. And I didn't even like the attention that brought me.
When you were getting the sexy flag, what was it that they were saying was sexy? Was it they were saying oh, you got a big booty?
Yeah.
I got that at an early age too.
Because I was curvy. Yeah. I was overdeveloped. So it would be my body part.
Yeah.
But it wasn't this
defined.
It was kind of to me, disrespectful.
Yeah.
So so because I got what I consider disrespectful attention, I didn't want it. I didn't like it. It didn't make me feel good.
Yeah.
It made me feel kind of dirty or you want to cover up. Yeah. So I'm glad I grew up in the 90s in the TLC era with the cross colors and the big old clothes because I didn't. So I've been racking my mind since the last conversation of sexy, sex, me sex. I don't know. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try it now. Maybe because I'm more comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm more comfortable with who I am.
Yeah.
And very comfortable I'm very comfortable and confident.
Yeah.
I know who I am today. Like I can literally, clearly say that.
Right.
And so now I have to define what sexy is for me at this age right now.
Yeah.
But I've been in a 20-year marriage. I know I ain't. I know I wasn't sexy.
I told y'all, like, everything that I've known has been literally programmed. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't having the conversations. There was nobody like these conversations. Yeah. It wasn't a lot happening. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Either I was talking to my sister Nikki, we would talk and have like conversations. Mm-hmm. But I was in church all the time, and people just are not talking about how to be sexy. Yeah. Even if they're asking you to save yourself for marriage, there's not a conversation about the next step.
Right, like once you are married.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if I save myself
to marriage,
right.
Y'all ain't about to be just like chilling.
Jesus loves us. Let's save ourselves.
No.
Like, nobody had that conversation. So, like, I have definitely been, like, on a journey, just exploring different things. And like we said in the last conversation, I probably want Anthony. I asked Anthony initially to overshare, and I think the oversharing was as a result of my ignorance. You know what I'm saying?
So you mean overshare like his past experiences?
Yes, because like my experiences are few. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I ain't played that. I was not like catching bodies. That just wasn't me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I had friends who just didn't care, but because of just how I was brought up and how I felt, my conviction was, I was very particular. Mm. So I did not have a lot of experiences. And so, but Anthony was my really first experience. Right. So everything that I knew, I kind of learned from him. And then, as we got older, once we started having conversations, as we were conversing, he shared that, stuff that he was sharing with me came from porn. You know what I'm saying? Because, he's a little kid, just, you know what I'm saying? So just in that, I'm just like, wow, like, so what's teaching me? Where's my foundation coming from? And that was like in my early teen years. Yeah. So then I'm thinking, like, as I've been like growing and building, there's certain women, when I was growing up younger, there were like couples in the church that I thought were just so cute. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a nice looking wife, nice looking husband. They had little children. I'm just like, that's just like the perfect family. Some of them I kind of got close to, and they would share a little bit. Right. But nobody would really get into detail. You know what I'm saying? Right. And at this point, I'm like a young adult. Mm-hmm. I still don't know. I only know what I'm learning, again, from people in the street, school, my friends at this point, because they getting more experience than me.
But your friends lie. I mean, they're just lying.
And I wouldn't know that.
So
I wouldn't know.
I didn't grow up in the church. I had friends. We all was having sex way before marriage, and we were all had multiple partners before we got, before we may have gotten to a relationship.
Right. Yeah.
And what I realized as I got older was they were all lying.
Nobody was getting it like they said.
Nobody was getting it good like they said it was, because a lot of that sex I had was trash.
Dang.
Let's just be honest.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of it was trash.
Boys just trying to figure it out, poking around.
They were poking around. I didn't really know.
What are you doing next?
But it may have been, it wasn't trash. Maybe I just didn't know what I liked at the time. And they didn't know what they liked at the time. And then we didn't really have the chemistry. And we're trying to make some stuff happen. And, it could have been all that, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I had these conversations with my friends because I wasn't never taught about sex at all. I was just like, don't get pregnant.
Yeah.
Like, don't get pregnant. It was never like a discussion that I shouldn't have sex or anything. It was like, don't get pregnant.
Yeah.
But then I got pregnant. Right? Because you always, if you say don't do something, that's,
you're like, why not?
Don't put the law down on me.
Right. Yeah. So then I got pregnant. And then that was like very disappointing. So then,
because he's like, I did the one thing you told me not to do,
and whatever. So then, but when I was talking to my friends, because I was getting more information in the streets, and talking to my friends, and they were just saying how good it was, and da 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 da, and every experience I had, it was like up, like for me, like. Okay, this is what it is.
Right, like what's happening? This doesn't sound as exciting as they were making it
sound. Yeah. So I think they just wanted somebody to join them. Like, they didn't want to be the only ones out there like having sex. So then, I am, and then I don't talk about sex freely either.
Me either.
Yeah, so I'm not like talking about sex freely, but I wish like I had parents that would have taught me, or would have discussions with me, not even taught me, just discussions with me, like about sex, and that it's not a bad thing.
Right.
Because then when after you do have sex, you feel horrible, right? Or you just feel horrible. It's like, and then also knowing the difference between the two, because chemistry sex can be great.
Right.
But if you just out here for the streets, and it's okay if that's what you think, you're gonna have a lot of bad sex out there. Yeah. I just think it does. I think the connection is what makes it great.
Yeah.
That's for me.
Yeah.
For me. The connection of the sex makes it great.
Yeah.
If you don't have that connection, for me, it's not good. For me, like I'm not one to just be like, oh, and some women can do that and walk away and
be good
be good. I'm not built like that.
Yeah.
So the connection, the whatever that is, I don't know if it's a.
So I'm sorry to interject, but so what did you experience that made you come to that conclusion? Was it that you had a bunch of partners? Is it after being with your husband for so long and then you eventually see, okay, it feels the best when we're like on one accord and we're like, feeling the same, on the same vibe, and then it's like sex is amazing? Or is it kind of after you've experienced a couple of times and you're like, yeah, this isn't it?
So it wasn't that I had like a lot of partners, like, but I had, I had partners, and before that, I was a young adult.
Right. Yeah.
I was either a teenager or a young adult.
Yeah.
And what I will say is that I realized it once I was married and I was into it. And I think it was in my 30s when I realized that it's the chemistry that me and him have, being on one accord. Mm-hmm. It was something about me and him. Mm-hmm. And I think I didn't get real comfortable with my sexuality until I was like in my 30s. Like, and when I say sexuality, I'm not saying like I was exploring other sexes. I'm saying like just being comfortable with sex.
Yeah.
Period.
Your body.
My body.
What you do
what I
to
like.
it. What you like.
And I can say, I don't like that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Or I did like that.
Yeah.
And being comfortable and just really comfortable with myself. Just really expressing.
And honest. Yeah.
And being honest. Like, hey, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
Right.
Or do you think I like that?
Right.
Like
that's
you tried
because a lot of times I think men are doing because they think you like it, and they probably have seen it in a porn.
Yeah.
Like a porno, like, oh yeah, I'm a smack. I hate getting hit. Don't hit me. Or I don't like that. So pineapples, shit.
With the conversation, I think being so taboo, I think it's like when you do hear, because you don't hear a lot of people, well, they're talking about it more now than they have been in previous times.
Social media, you got TV.
They're going ham like
the mess out of it that, it's like now it's like, everything's sexy, everything's sexual. Everything.
Get it. As many times as you want it. Right?
It's a lot.
But I think that I felt some type of way because, like you, I'm like, my experience. Well, first of all, I was sexually active. Like I said, I had partners before my husband. But when me and my husband got back together, I think it was the excitement of sneaking almost that made it fun for me. You know what I'm saying? It was the sneaking aspect. And then I would feel horrible afterwards because, God, I'm not supposed to be doing this. And, you know, that whole guilt trip. But when we got married, we were good for a couple of years. But then once life kicked in, that's when I recognized the change. And I was like, oh, shoot. So, like, he still wants it, but, like, I'm in a different headspace. And no one told me that life impacts your sexual drive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like, okay, now that we're married, you know, I ain't got to feel guilty about it. He can just get it when he wants it, how he wants it. I can get it when I want it. We can do whatever we want to do. Upside down in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Like it's free game. But no one told me that life impacts your sexual drive. So I remember last conversation you were telling us, like, pre-marriage, it was like, y'all was getting to it. And then after marriage, it was like, okay, we need to refigure this out. So do you feel like it was life happening that changed your sex? Like, what do you feel like altered your sex drive?
I think it was definitely like a lot of life stuff for sure. And because our situation was kind of, we had a lot going on. As to even when we came back together, our relationship, we came back together in first of all, if you heard the last conversation that we had, he was married. You know what I'm saying? And I was the mistress. You know what I mean? So even in that kind of set a different tone for us because our previous dealings were when it was just us, our adolescent years, you know what I mean? So it's like coming up to that and entering in that space was odd. You know what I'm saying? But it was that excitement. It was that we shouldn't be doing this. Type of thing. But then at the same time in their minds, like, but we're soulmates.
And we're here together.
We want to be together by any means necessary. It's weird. You know what I'm saying? Our mindset was warped. Okay?
I'm
not saying that's right. I'm just saying that's what it was. Okay? So it was highly intense. Okay? So a lot of our encounters were highly intense because a lot of times when we were together, we were still in separate states. You know what I'm saying? So when we did get together, it was like
anxious,
all kinds of stuff.
I've been waiting for this.
It's like, let's do it. And then, like, as when we finally made a decision, you know, to get together, to be together, like this, we're going to do this. We're going to be together. So much. There was a lot of things we didn't consider when we got back together. You know what I'm saying? Like, we did not think about, like, oh snaps, what is this actually going to feel like for like like the decision that we made for one, how would it affect him and the current, you know what I'm saying, person. That level of weight, you know what I'm saying, that was weight, you know, that weighs on your mind. And then I didn't realize that I'm just like, oh snap, that actually sucked what just happened. You know what I'm saying? So,
from a woman's perspective,
you know what I'm saying, I was just like, oh, this sucks. But because we were so focused, like, we don't give a care what happens. We just got to get together. You know what I mean? Like, it literally felt like a fairy tale, the movie. And you're just
fighting to be together.
It doesn't matter what happens. It does matter. You know what I mean? It affects your life. You know what I mean? Your life decisions. And so in that time, it was really, really, it was a lot. And we didn't realize how much that really played on our mind. I'm just like, crap. Okay, things are different. You know what I mean? Like, and not realizing how different they really are, but then not addressing it either. Just keeping it moving. Like, there's an elephant in this room, but yeah, we're not going to discuss that because I don't really know how.
And there was nobody around. Like, there's nobody around to be like, okay, y'all about to get married. He was in a marriage just recently, so like, Corinne, this is what you need to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was
first of all, it was shameful. Who could we tell?
Okay, I got you.
So you felt ashamed, and you didn't want to talk. You didn't want to mention that part.
Who would I talk to? and say that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Without feeling judged.
Without feeling judged. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And feeling like, even though in the back of our minds we're like, yeah, but this is what we've always wanted. Yeah. And that should be enough.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. But they're casualties with those decisions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we didn't realize how much it affected our marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the beginning, we pushed through and we fought through a lot. You know what I mean? To get to a good place as to where we are now. You know what I mean? But we fought through a lot. We did, you know what I mean? We fought through a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the beginning of our marriage was rough. Okay. Even though in our heart of hearts, we were like, I can't be without you.
Right.
So we've got to figure this out.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know? So so I would say like our connection, like you were saying, like just that connection and that feel, you know, like the bond and the chemistry and, you know, our connection was affected so much because of what was going on in our minds. Outside, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, this is really like it can't be just a sex thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like cut and dry, black and white.
Yeah. Right.
Nah, not when you got like, you know,
when you have other things.
Shame and, you know what I'm saying? All kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I know, like, I think men can have sex under any circumstances, right? But if I'm worried or if I'm stressed or if I got something on my mind, I'm not thinking about
my mind
sex.
Is busy.
Yeah, busy.
Oh, yeah.
Busy mind. Yeah.
You got like this Rolodex of what you got to do, and you get a hand pull. Like, I'm like, hold on, wait.
Right. The timing.
I'm trying to recalculate. Right. Recalculate. I'm like, why am I like this?
Yeah.
Let me. Right. Because I'll be immediately irritated.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I'm taking
out of this mode.
I could be walking towards the laundry room. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm about to get these clothes out, put them in here, blah, 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 but get out, about to fold these clothes, and I can get abort the mission. Reset.
Yes.
So,
it's hard.
I have a question. So, how do we get to that space now that we're in relationships? We are. So, should we be sexy every night? Should we be sexy? Do we commit to saying like, I'm going to be sexy 3 times a week? Or what does that look like now? Because I'm trying to figure out what it looks like for me.
Okay, so our girlfriend, who has really for years just challenged me in this area. I have to ask myself some serious questions. Like, what is sexy to me? You know what I'm saying? And whatever sexy is to me, like, why would I not want to feel that way on the regular? I think we kind of make it to where it's like they're sexy
for them,
right? Yeah. Like they're sexy, and that makes it a task versus me just being and him being attracted to my being. And I think that's the part that we have to like grow into. It's like identifying your sexy, because really they really just want us to like own who we are. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like Anthony will buy me all of these things. I got drawers and drawers of stuff, and I'll just pick one and just put it on. But in my mind, I have to go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But I have been, for the past few years, just identifying like what is sexy to me and what makes me feel good.
It's literally been 1 week for me.
Really?
1 week.
But it's a start.
I never even thought about it.
It's a start though.
Yeah, 1 week. Last Friday.
Yeah.
But you got to understand though, and give yourself some grace, because like I keep saying, there's like this conversation, like, I mean, people are going to have all of their opinions, but there are going to be those who are like, I'm so glad y'all talking about it, because ain't nobody talking to me about it. You know what I'm saying? And so like I said, I have not, it took my friends. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have the motherboard. I didn't have the elders. I didn't have my grandma. She passed at a young age. And then my other grandmas were more into the domesticated side than they were my womanhood. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what my grandmother was like. Keep a clean house. And to this day, I struggle.
Yeah. Listen, I had to get my kids involved.
Right, yeah,
I had to get my kids involved. I'm like,
it's not a nasty house. It's not a nasty where you don't want to eat over there, but it's definitely things I see around the house like, wow.
I need to do that. I'm coming back around to that.
But domesticated. Yeah, like domestic. Yeah.
That's
keeping
the part.
Your kids clean, keeping your children taken care of.
And serving your husband and stuff like you get all of the help or the assistance and the models for that, but nobody is like helping you own like what sexy is to you. And so for that reason, I'm just like, the more I own it in my own life, the more I pour back into my child. You know what I'm saying? And the more I allow her to explore, express, you know, her journey, you know what I'm saying? And I just share with her what I'm learning, where I was at her age, and I just can't be afraid of it. You know what I'm saying? And I have to let her know, hey, you know, Riley, I know you're feeling this. I know this is what you're exploring. I know, and it's okay. And you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not judging you about any of it. Like I know that you're going through this. I know. You know, when you're in the hallway and the boys come by and they're looking good and they're smelling good, you know, I know you feel something down there. It's just like, oh my gosh, what is that? I know you're going through all of that. And it's okay. Your body responds. Like, that's how we were created. Yeah. Your body responds. And just because you feel it doesn't mean you have to do something with every feeling. You know what I mean? Yeah. So those are the kind of conversations we have. And I'm still learning how to navigate that, because she will be a young adult before I know it. And I'm like, by the time she gets ready to like get married and stuff like that, like I want to be able to really have like an in-depth conversation. It's been said, you know, I don't know how true this is because I ain't in nobody's house. I know y'all be like, whose house are you in to confirm these or deny these statements? But it's been said that other cultures, not ours, not this, but this culture, actually teach their daughters like how to give head and all of these things, which is why it is said. I don't know how true it is. Like I said, I ain't in nobody's house, but that is the, you know, the saying that they are taught how to please a man. And that is how a lot of our Black men are led astray, because they don't care. And I do remember in high school, like in the bathroom, under the bleachers.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Girls was I just got head under the bleachers. I just got head in the locker room. And I'm thinking, who was doing that? Right. And when I see who was doing it, I'm just like, it's not our culture. Is all I can say.
My grandmother wouldn't even talk about it. I remember Monica Lewinsky and
Bill Clinton.
And I was saying to my aunt, not my aunt, my grandmother, she was laying on the couch, we were watching the news, and I was like, well, it really wasn't sex. Right. So, you know, in my mind, like, it wasn't sex.
What's the big deal?
And she was like, let's not talk about that. And don't you ever do it.
And that
was the conversation.
That's the grandmothers of old. Like the grandmothers of old.
Don't do it. Don't do it. And I was like,
privacy and discretion was a major thing with them. Like that was a major thing. Like, well, I'm not going to talk about that. And you know, that's nasty. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
But I'm just like,
and you're taught not to do it, but then. But then it brings into your marriage, like in the back of your mind, you're not supposed to.
But I wonder what that is, though. Like I wonder why was frowned.
My grandmother,
like that act. Why was that frowned upon? You know, what I mean, so greatly.
I think it was frowned upon because our culture didn't do it. It was somebody else's culture did it. That's what I
need
think.
I need to like kind of study that and kind of research, like just where it came from. Because
there are a lot of women that's just like, I would never. You know what I'm saying? I could never.
Yeah.
Type of thing. And I'm like, Good luck with that.
So question, because that leads me to now this question. Once you got into your marriage, like for me, like I said, once I got married, I'm like, anything goes. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Me and my husband are literally exploring everything to figure out what we want to do, what we like. He is my one forever. Like, we can't be doing the same old same. Yeah. So, like, how did you feel about being explorative once you got married?
Now, interestingly, in my case, I was very explorative with Brian as a teenager. Right. You know what I'm saying? So a lot, which is interesting because I was more explorative as a teenager than I am as a wife, which is weird.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I would probably say I'm really just now getting into a place where I feel like I'm open and free enough to
start
exploring
again.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And get back to that mindset again. Because I really believe it was like, first of all, it was uninhibited. You know what I'm saying? There was no life stuff. There was no nothing. We were just being free. You know what I'm saying? And being us and really explored. Probably too explorative. As teenagers, you know what I'm saying? We in the playground, we in the back of the car, like all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, why won't I do that?
Why was I doing that?
Because having sex in the car is uncomfortable.
Why won't I do it?
It is so uncomfortable. Like,
I know, my body is different,
please. You know? Oh my God, my children, if they
took a minute to really get to a place, even like, if I even speak for like women, especially in your marriage after you've had children, your mind changes, your hormones change, like so much changes about you. You know what I mean? Looking in the mirror, your body is not the same anymore. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh my God. So I'm like, and then I realized too that it wasn't about what he said to me. So you know how sometimes, you know, you may be in a situation where your partner is not very complimentary. You know what I'm saying? Or I love this. Ooh, do that. Stop doing that. Take those clothes off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's not an issue.
Right.
Okay? But in my mind, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't really like what I see.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So trying to get my mind to a place to where I actually feel that level of exploration, and you know what I'm saying, like, you really do have to be at a good place in your mind, in yourself, and in your body. Like, I'm there now, you know what I'm saying, but it took so long to get there. It took honest conversations, you know, with my husband, and really, because I mean, he would ask like, I don't get it, you know, because he's known me since I was 15, you know what I mean, and he's like, okay,
what do you want me to do?
I've been through every aspect of you.
How do we fix this?
I'm really pleased with all of you. Like, what do we need to do? You know? So, and just having those conversations saying, okay, well, I feel like this and I feel like this, you know, but him telling me didn't matter to me. You know, it's like, I'm like, yeah, I'm grateful
it's almost
for it.
Like you didn't even believe it, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you know, or like, you have to say that because of your wife, you know?
Right?
But it meant more when I felt it for myself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? When I can look in the mirror and be like,
you really like what you see.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Or if it was something that I didn't like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, then if you feel like you go work out then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Do squats. You want your butt to sit up, you know? Yeah. Like just stuff like that. Like then I had to really get real.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Let me shut up.
Let me
do what I need to do.
Do things I need to do in order to get the results that I need.
Right.
You know, for me. Then, you know what I'm saying, do whatever it is I need to do. But I need to be cool. I need to get to a place. Because it's not just like him. Like he's fine. You know what I'm saying? With me, with everything of me. Doesn't, you know what I mean? But I had to get to a place. But I had to be honest with myself. Like, listen here. You have a part to play. It's not just, oh, I feel this way, so I'm not doing X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no, you got to get to a place because that's very important. Even how you connect.
Yeah.
Right.
Not just how he's going to respond to whatever freeness I'm in, but I want to be connected and pleased and explorative. Like, oh, wow. Didn't know that I could do that. You know what I'm saying?
So answer honestly, you feeling some type of way about your appearance. Do you feel like the images that you saw on TV, so social media wasn't as big as it is now as it was then when we first got married. So do you feel like you compared yourself to other people, to what you see on TV that made you feel uncomfortable, or were you just uncomfortable?
So, I got married, I gained a lot of weight, I had babies back to back, and I just, I didn't like what I saw. So it's hard to feel sexy when you don't like what you see in the mirror, and then you also you didn't see people that look like me that were considered sexy on TV. Let's just you just didn't see it. So you didn't see like plus size. Now you do.
Right.
Now you do.
Like,
that's like the
now my daughter, I'll be like, oh, you wearing that?
She fine.
Oh yeah, she don't have that. She doesn't even talk bad about herself. Like as far as like her body or whatever. She's like, this is what, I've been this way.
All of this.
You're going to get all of this. You're going to get these, this cleavage I'm giving. Because I ain't got no butt. Like she'd be like, I ain't got no butt, but I got this cleavage. She's very comfortable in herself. I admire that about her, because when I was smaller, I picked myself apart. I never had, it's not what I say out loud. It's the stuff that's in my mind. So even though, like I said, about mid-30s or something, I'm comfortable. I started becoming comfortable. Like, look, this is who I am. Like, I can't, whatever. This is what people are going to get. And then as of maybe last year, I said, I'm going to quit talking negative to myself in my mind. So it wouldn't be the stuff I say out loud. It would be the thoughts in my mind that like kind of created this, like, I even like, I don't take a lot of pictures. We never really had a family photo. And even in the family photos I got, I'd be like, like just want to just tear it up. But now I'm like, you know what? I got to start accepting the way I look now. So even if I lose weight, let's say I never lose weight. If I lose weight, if I don't lose weight, I got to like who I am. And so if I start liking who I am and start talking nice to myself. So just, I'm deserving to be sexually pleased. I am deserving to feel sexual. And then also, even when I'm not feeling my best, not talking to myself in that negative connotation in my head, like, whatever that voice is that's in my head, and just being really like positive about things. Like, okay, every day is not a great, I don't feel 100%, but the days that I don't feel 100%, put on that makeup. Put on that outfit that you supposed to save going somewhere and wear it to work.
Wear it.
Wear it on a Monday. Wear it on a Monday. Wear that outfit on a Monday. Like really like putting forth effort to make sure that I put my best foot forward. And then I realize my day get better. And then my nights get better with my husband, because even though I woke up not feeling like I want to do this today. Because I did that little bit. And so I'm like, if I did it, okay, I did a little bit. But what if I put the whole
intentionally?
Like, what if I really went out?
Really went out
every day, and I was intentional about me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's even part of like the the what is it? Self-care. Like the self-care, self-love of yourself every day. Not just on occasion, not just for him. Not, you know what I mean?
For me.
Every day. Like, what can I do even in this day that makes me feel amazing? Or makes me feel beautiful or pretty or sexy, whatever. You know what I mean? And it'd be like the small, like I've noticed just on this journey of just like discovering me, or like what do I love about me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've noticed just the smallest changes made a difference to me. You know what I'm saying? Like legit, when I stopped wearing sweats, like for real.
Listen.
Like, I did not think that it would make a difference in how I felt. Me. sure, he's like, yeah,
right.
I knew it would come someday. You know what I mean? But like when I literally started wearing like shorter shorts, booty shorts, or you know what I mean, and I would feel like, oh wow, you know what I'm saying? Like when I stopped wearing underwear, like I did not expect to feel sexy all day, or sexual all day. You know what I'm saying? Like this is pant. You know what I mean? Like what the heck has happened? You know what I mean? Like I did not know it was that deep. I really just like it's just clothes. Like in my mind, I'm thinking like. Yeah. But no, when I did make those, those changes, I felt different about me, like for real. Like I really looked at my body and I was like, oh, I mean, that's not really like, it's not really as bad as and I felt more sexy. I felt more sexual. Yeah. I even, even exposing my body or my, majority of my legs or, tank top, and my husband being touchy feeling that place, I responded different. Yes. Which is so weird to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what has happened? You know what I mean? Yep. But
self-care.
No matter, even if regardless of having sweats on, if I had, a hoodie or whatever, he would still be touchy feeling. Yeah. Doesn't matter. But it was the way I responded when I started being more intentional about me
to you
and to myself. When he did, I was, oh, this is weird. Yep. I don't have any underwear on. It's easy access. Right. Wow. Who would have thought? Right. Easy access would be so
invigorating.
Right. Like a thing.
But you feel cute. You feel cute when I guess when you have like, when you're walking around and you feeling like, oh yeah, I look cute today. Or you're feeling yourself. It does. Sorry. It does make you feel better. And it does, and then you respond to that touch in a different way, because it just makes you feel better. So I would say to my younger self, if I would have known to quit talking to myself in my head so badly, and then also learn, like, be comfortable with wherever level you got to start somewhere, right? Whatever level you're at, go ahead and buy the clothes that sometimes, you like, well, I could use this money for this. Right. And you put yourself, I always put myself on the back
we
burner.
Always talk about that, like, if I don't go buy some clothes.
Oh my gosh, go to the store and get it.
Right. So
justifying why you don't need to buy it.
Yeah, and just being okay with buying that shirt that you saw, or buying that whatever you saw, and so you can go in there and have something like, oh, okay, yeah, I do have something to wear, instead of sitting on the edge of the bed frustrated, and mad at your partner because he got something to wear.
Listen, so
I used to be,
he buys clothes
because he buys himself all the time.
I used to get upset because Anthony would be like super sharp, but he's a shopper, and so what happened was he started buying for me, but the way he bought, I was getting pissed because what he bought when I put it on, I ain't feel how he felt. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because he felt like he dressing up a dog. Anthony always, like, 90% of my clothes my husband has bought. 90% of them. And like, it'd be just like little stuff that I buy from the shirt that I struggled, like, that's the other 10%.
That's the 10%. Should I get it? Right. Should I not? Should I?
It's on sale. Just do it, girl. Just do it.
But I would even shop cheap for myself.
Me too.
Like, okay, because I know that we have this going on. We have this going on.
He does not do, he will go buy the most. It's like, it's cute. It's beautiful. Baby, put it on. You're going to look amazing. I was getting frustrated because it was not translating. So I had to be like, I had to deal with myself, because he's like, I'm wearing what I think you would look sexy in. And then when I put it on, he's like, yes. And I'm just like, no. Do you see this roll? Do you see how they're sitting? Like, picking yourself apart.
Because, but even too, part of that self-care is, even when you shop, you're going to shop according to how your body looks in the clothes.
Yes. In the
Period.
clothes.
You know what I'm saying? But if I get this shirt and either too tight here, not low enough, whatever, they come like, I'm not getting that shirt.
But and I realized that a lot of my, like the way I moved at a certain stage in my life was all about comfort. Like I'm all about comfort. I'm not even thinking about being super cute or sexy. I'm thinking about comfort. Yeah. And so he's not even in the equation because right now my mind is on comfort. Then I had to dig like
when you toting some kids.
Oh my gosh! Like, but why? Why are you so focused on comfort, and why can't comfort be sexy?
Yeah.
So I had to dig, and I realized that I wanted to be comfortable because I felt like comfortable would hide what I felt was unsexy. You know what I'm saying? So the part of me that I did not think was sexy, if I go for comfort, then you won't see those things that I think are not right.
Right.
And I had to deal with that. And then I had to deal with, like, just because I'm a mom doesn't mean, because I get annoyed too. Like, you out here looking like you just fresh and like you ain't got no family. I'm over here looking like the soccer mom, but that's what I chose because I went for the comfort.
And that's what Jason would say. Like, why did you buy that if you didn't feel? And I'm like, shut up. We're not talking about that. What I'm saying is I don't have anything to wear. And I don't want to go no more. Wherever we were going.
Staying home.
Right. Because I didn't think, because even now, and I only have one child in the house. Mm-hmm. Even now I go and shop cheap. Mm-hmm. Right? And it's a habit now. Yeah. It's not even something. I don't know why I do it. Like, I really don't know why I do it.
It's a conditioned mindset.
It's a conditioned mindset. And I'm like, you know what? And now I'm intentional about buying what I like, what I feel comfortable in, but also what I feel sexy in. Yeah. I can be fly even if I'm not going nowhere. Yeah. Right? And not feel any kind of way about it. Like that. And I'm like, you know what? From here on out, that's going to be my sexy. Like that's what I committed to. Yeah. Right? My commitment is I'm going to put my best foot forward daily. Yeah. Even if I'm chilling at the house. Yeah. Even if I got sweatpants on. It could be a cute sweat.
It could be
a cute sweatsuit and it can look like, where are you going? So then if anybody call me, if my sister or my friends say, you want to go have dinner? Or I'm not like struggling. Like, what am I gonna wear? I don't know what I'm gonna wear. I know she's gonna be cute. And then I also have a friend. I have a really good friend. Hey, Mika. That stay fly all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, she shop all the time by herself, and she's been like that since we worked together 20 years ago. Wow. Right? And she always, makes sure her hair is done, and she takes very good self-care. Mm-hmm. And I always admired her for that. Like, I'm like, dang. And I'm like, why didn't I do that? Yeah. So now that I'm here in this mindset, I'm like, you know what? I am going to be committed to my self-care is putting my best foot forward daily. Yeah. And then I'm already ready, so I don't have to get ready. Yeah. Because I'm already there. So, I'm like, every time that I get paid or something, I'm going to buy me something. Yeah. I'm going to buy me something, whether it's a shirt, some earrings, jewelry, whatever it is. And I'm going to invest in myself because it does make me feel good. Yes. And it does give me a different response when I got on what I like and my husband say, oh, baby, you look good today. Yeah. It's because I got something I like on. Right. Yeah, like that I picked out that
I'm wearing it. I'm rocking it.
And that means I can come into the room and own it. Yeah. I can come into the room and own it because I like what I see and I like the way I feel. Yeah. And so my self-awareness is, for many years, I didn't like what I saw and I didn't like how I felt and I wasn't feeling good about myself. Mm-hmm. And even though I don't know what it was, because even though it wasn't I wasn't saying it out loud. Yeah. It was what I was feeling inside. And then I mean,
the mind is powerful.
Yeah,
that's going to set that's going to set the whole.
Yeah, it set everything. Yes, that's what you live out.
Yes, whether you saying it or not, the mind is going to. You are going to demonstrate and exude what you're carrying here, and you know, I think that when I listen to like single women. And stuff, and they be like, "Oh my God, girl, please, you know, when I get a husband, like whenever he want it, I can't wait, you know, I'm gonna give it to him in the kitchen, and I'm gonna give it to him, And I just felt like a horrible person because I'm like, I wasn't feeling it, you know, and I'm like. Even now, like we work to be sporadic, but we have kids in the house, and so I'm like, where you're trying to be sporadic, I'm so like
very tense.
My son is like, Mom, I be hearing y'all, and I'm like, so now at night I'm just like,
now you can't really be like, oh
gosh, like be quiet. I don't want my son listening.
Well, so you're like,
what?
So hand over the mouth.
I am very mindful of that, but I to the point. I really do. Oh, my watch think I'm okay. I'm okay, Siri. I did not fall. But to that point, I do want to make sure that, you know, that I am intentional and that I do, because I do remember all the those dreams thoughts. Of like, you know, when I have a husband, when I have a family, all of the sweet things, the fun things that I want to do. And now I'm living what I dreamed. So I want to take advantage of that. So the different things that try to come, you know, me and my husband had a conversation that as we're raising kids, our kids are very important to us, right? But we're raising our kids to leave us. Yeah. And so it's important that we don't get so lost in investing everything into the kids that we're not investing into our relationship. You know, what continually makes us happy and how we're pleasing each other. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be me and you, boo. Yep. And I got to love you, and you not only love you, I got to like you. I got to like you. Yeah. And if we haven't been investing in each other, you know, all of this time, we just been stressing and hanging on for the kids. I can see why a lot of marriages end after the kids have cleared the house.
Because you don't have nothing else to talk about.
You don't have nothing like to hold you together and to keep you moving. Yeah. It's like y'all moved as a unit for the family. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But not for each other.
But not for each other.
Are the ones that will outlast this family dynamic. Because your kids do leave and they start their own lives. So it's like, shoot, if you don't, you're like, what the heck are we supposed to do now?
Right. You're looking at a stranger a lot of times because, you know, even in a family dynamic, if you have multiple kids, you're going one way, I'm going this way. We'll meet at the end of the day. We're talk 30 minutes. We're tired. Yeah. On the weekends, you have games and, you know, whatever your activities your kids are in. And and then you back to work, 40 hours, 50 hours a week, however many hours. And I know for many years, me and Jason worked opposite shifts because we couldn't afford a babysitter. Yeah. So it was moments. It was like, I think about 7 years in, I looked up, I'm like, I don't even like ESPN. Why do I keep watching it? Like, I would just watch whatever. I could not tell you what I liked or anything. I came so absorbed into him and the kids that I couldn't tell you what shows I like, what books I like to read. I would just read leftover books, you know, from somebody else because I just didn't know what I liked. And then when I decided to be like, oh no, I'm
doing me.
Yeah, because I lost myself. Yeah. And then when I was trying to find myself, you know, I started turning the TV to like shows I like, right? And then it was like we wasn't watching TV together because he, you know, he's a sports fanatic. So ESPN was his all day, every day. And I'm like, I don't even like none of this. And then I'm upstairs, so you start being in separate rooms because you watch separate shows. You know, I started like reading the books that I like, and I changed. Not him, but it's because I didn't know who I was. And then I'm like, oh no, I'm coming back into myself. Yeah. I'm trying to tell you what I like and what I don't like. I'm going outside of you now. And it was like, where are you going? I'm like, I told you I had plans. Yeah. I told you on Monday I had plans. And he's like, really? Like, you leaving? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'll be back. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and being comfortable leaving the kids, like, hey, it's
food. How you live.
Yeah, food up there.
You got your daddy right
now. Your daddy's there. And then, you know, and then because remember, he could move the way he wanted to because I was there. You know, I'm there. He can come and go. And
okay, did you feel guilty? Mm-hmm. Did y'all feel guilty? Like when you started to when you start moving, like you're leaving the house, you're like, crap, I need to make sure the dinner is cooked. I need to make sure
I used to do everything
rooms are clean. I need to make sure. Like, and it's like, but he's a whole human being.
Child, you saw the text message I got. Right. Yeah. I show her a text message. My daughter made some cookies. She texted me a picture of the cookies and asked me, were they done? I wasn't home.
Your dad is home.
Your dad's upstairs.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but
what type of foolishness is that?
It's like,
I'm like, what is happening?
Right, because look, Daddy's busy. He's busy, even though he's in the next room. He's busy. Yeah, right. No, but in their mind.
Well, what is that though?
I don't know what that is, but I used to feel guilty, and then I would be like, you know, try to snap out of it. Amy, you need this time. And I really did.
I
needed time outside of Jason in the house.
Bad.
And I had to create friends outside of sharing, because I'm like, I need to know who I am, and I think that's when I started my journey. But it has taken me from 7 years into my marriage to maybe last year to become whole in this journey,
because life is still happening. The kids still pull on you, the husband pulls on you, you know, your job is pulling on you. All of the things are happening simultaneously. So it's like you're trying to identify and evolve as life is happening, like simultaneously. So it kind of doesn't happen as quickly as you would like, because your time is being divvied up between all of the things. I do remember, like, I used to ask myself, like, I used to love, because I had, of course, I got married. I got married at 20, and I automatically became a mom of 2. And then I got pregnant 6 months into our marriage with our third son. And then by 23, I had 4 kids. And so when I would have times away, like I would be like, I'm going with my girlfriends, because I'm still young, right? Like my husband partied. He moved out when he was 17. Right. So he's at this point, by the time we're married, he is partied out.
Right.
I'm like, I'm just getting started.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So now I'm trying to go out with the girls and party. And I realize that when I'm out with the girls, like, I'm like loosing. Oh, like I'm having fun. But then when I get home, I'm automatically going to this like really polished, you know, hey babe, what do you need? But that, you know what I'm saying? Like the free, liberating spirit that I was with my girls, I was not bringing that home. You know what I'm saying? And although he appreciated me being able to be there for the kids and be there for him, I think what he was missing was that part of me,
that free
fun.
That free fun.
How many times did you laugh? In the first years of my marriage? I'm just talking about laughing, having a good time with your husband. It was all serious. It was all like, when I did talk to him, it was like, this bill is due. What we're gonna do about this? It was all business. I recently, in the recent years of the last 5 years, is when we got back to just having fun, like enjoying each other's company, just laughing more, like really kicking it, you know, without it being about business, like without us like running this household, what we're gonna do. The beginning of, like, when I was in my 20s, I don't remember just enjoying those moments. Like, it was all serious. But then when I went with my friends, I'm laughing to tears.
Yeah.
And I remember Jason was like, and even when I'm on the phone with my sisters, we on the phone, we FaceTime and we cracking up laughing. And he's like, you don't laugh with me like that. And I didn't realize I didn't.
Wow.
Until he said it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh. I don't know why. I don't know why, because I wasn't the same person.
But in your mind, when for my husband, well, I can't say that I didn't laugh. He's a clown. I'm laughing at everything. I'm rolling. But if I can say like why that person didn't translate, like the person my girlfriend saw versus the person I was at the house, is because I felt like I got married so young. So I felt like I had to be, like I'm trying to be this adult that I really don't know how to be. You know what I'm saying? And so, but when I went out with my girls, I felt like I was just letting my hair down. Like this is my time to I'm not worried about the kids. Even though in a minute he about to text me something about a baby bottle or something. But for this moment, I'm just going to release. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's how I felt. And it was hard. Again, I have to stress that I did not have a lot of conversations about how, like I remember me and my sister talking about, because my sister got married young too. So she had been married a couple years by the time me and Anthony got married. So me and her would kind of exchange to the degree we could relate. But I didn't have a circle of people that I could like talk to. When I was going out with my girlfriends, I wasn't telling them what was going on in my married life because that was private. You know what I'm saying? And that was like not to be talked about. And then, you know, because of at the time, like my husband was, you know, who he was connected to. And it was like, you know, you don't tell that business and I don't want nobody discussing me type of thing. And so I just kind of felt closed off. But when I went with my girls, I'm just like, this is just about having fun and being me. And I needed to learn how to merge those two, but I did not have the conversations to learn how to do that. So, and I really feel like once I learned how to bring her into our marriage, I think that's when it just took it up another level. Like I'm dramatic. Like I'm a dramatic person. I'm extra. I'm all of that. So when I could, you know, he could throw me an outfit, throw me a costume, and he's like, "You're an actress, right?" And I could bring that actress and be like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was so much fun. Yeah. You know, when I learned to, like, they need to connect.
Yeah. To be free in that space.
And that's really what helped take our relationship and even our sexual relationship to another place, because Susie Homemaker, you know, trying to do everything right. She was necessary, but she needed the let her hair down moments. You know what I'm saying? And they did not always need to be outside of the house. I needed to let my hair down in front of my husband. Yeah. So that he can like, okay, I like that. I see. You're not all like, I got to teach you everything. You do, you know, explore a little bit. Okay. So last question, because I know we're, you know, we could go on and on, but so my last question is, while you're in marriage, where are you getting your tips and your tricks from?
Child.
Where do you get your tips and tricks from? Like if you and your husband are exploring, how do you know what to try and what to do?
Well, I know there's a game. You know, there's games and stuff out there, which we played. And we definitely played this game when we went to Myrtle Beach on our first Just Us trip.
Yes, without the kids.
20 years to do it.
But you did it,
But we did it. And like we realized, oh my God, we should have been did this. What the heck?
What are we doing?
We thinking, you know. But like the game aspect is really cool because it challenges you to really be outside of your box, and you really got to be like, all right, whatever come up on this card,
right? You got to be committed to do it.
You got to do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you cannot just be.
You can't talk yourself out of it. Like, no, pass.
yes.
Pull another card.
Right? No, like, you gotta be like, here we go. But I think I love that, you know what I'm saying, aspect, just because I'm kind of a square. He calls me a square all the time.
Anthony calls me a square.
He's always like, such a square.
Yes.
Like, ew, why did you, why? You know what I mean? Like,
you married me.
It's like, yeah, you know, I was a square, you know. But that's helped, you know what I'm saying? Me really like open my mind. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to just watch pornos. You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, we did that as teenagers, and
but I don't get turned on. Yeah, I don't get turned on by pornos because it just doesn't. If it's, it's not an intimate. It's not intimacy. It's just like a bunch of and then you know, so many positions they do because they need the camera angle. Yeah, so it's not like that. Doesn't turn me on. So I do. You know, talk amongst my friends about sex. Yeah. And then I have my sisters are very sexual. So I get tips from them.
Well, that's good. Because I mean, they're I probably talk to her. Right. Or I would talk to our other friend. Yeah. And that's it.
Oh, yeah. I talk to my sisters. I don't talk to
anyone else.
And they're very sexual. So because they're so sexual, I can get some good things going through them. And, that's good. And because, like, one of my sisters could probably have a podcast about sex. Yeah. Like,
she just got so much.
Yeah, because she's very.
We're gonna have to get her on.
We talk to her.
Yeah, we gotta get her on.
She's sexually free. Yeah, like she's not.
And that's
it doesn't. Yeah,
listen, that's a whole other conversation. Being sexually free and how I was listening, because just at this stage in my life, I am really searching to be totally free, sexually liberated. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so when things make me cringe, I have to question, like, why is it making me cringe? Like, is it like, religious beliefs? You know what I'm saying? Is it my boundary, or is it like I'm almost turning my nose up? Like, how could you do something? So, you know, I just have to question my cringe. Yeah. And so anyway, I was listening to I do audiobooks. So I was listening to this audiobook, and this particular writer was talking about how women hold sexual abuse. We hold it inside. We carry that. So when you talk about, like, when you were a child or when you were a teenager, and how people commented on your body, you know what I'm saying? Subconsciously, you stored different things, and how we carry that all the way up until we get into, and when we have sexual relations with people, like, we store that stuff. Yeah. So I think about the different times. Anthony wasn't my only, so I think about the different times that I shared my body with different people and how that made me feel, under what conditions I did those things. I store that. And then, so when I'm trying to be free with my husband, not realizing,
those thoughts come up.
I'm carrying that stored, however, the impact of those sexual experiences. Yeah. If I haven't cleansed myself of that, cleared myself of that, I'm carrying that, and that impacts our intimacy and the way that we come together. So, you know, I think about that.
Thing. I'm about to say that's probably one thing I would leave with, you know, single people that are that are, you know, want to be married, or even people, you know, that are married or having issues like that in their marriage, as far as the connectivity issues. Like, I really do believe, like, the whole soul ties thing. Yeah. Like, I
it's
know
a real thing.
People say it all the time, kind of like haphazardly, you know what I'm saying? But I really do believe it is a thing that you carry. You know what I'm saying? Because I realized, like, when we got to the point where we were actually having dialogue and talking through some things, I realized that the sexual encounters that I had after Brian, you know what I'm saying, and in between us getting back together, really affected me. You know what I'm saying? Like, how I was treated. Yeah. How I, you know, like, just not really being regarded, dismissed. You know what I'm saying? Like, all those different things really shaped how I felt about myself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It shaped my identity. It shaped my sexuality. It
and
shaped
how you show up. How you show up in the bed. It's like I subconsciously, I'm carrying all of those, things. I can recall, like, Anthony was my first, but then I remember being someone else's first, and I felt horrible about it. Like, I felt horrible.
You felt horrible?
I did. I don't know that because our relationship did not go for as long. Yeah. I don't know. I just felt like I robbed him of the opportunity to be with someone for the long haul. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how he felt. You know what I'm saying? But I carried that guilt. Like, I took somebody's virginity. You know what I'm saying? And then we didn't even last. Yeah. And then, like you said, the conditions under which, I had other experiences, I was taken advantage of by a man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? As a teenager. And I had a hard time coming to grips. Like, I probably told my mom as a grown woman with kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, recently, in the past maybe 5-6 years, I owned up to it. But I had been carrying that pain, that bondage, and, at the time, I had blamed, like, being out and all this stuff. I blamed it on Anthony because I knew he was acceptable to my, like, that we had already had sexual experiences. So I felt ashamed to tell them that I had sexual relations with this grown man. And I felt bad, not realizing that this was I was like 16. This man was like 27. Like, why do I feel... He should be ashamed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm... Should I have been? No, but I was the victim in that situation. So anyway, I feel like I carry those things. You know what I'm saying? The shame and the guilt.
The shame and the guilt. We carry shame and guilt when it comes
inside of us.
Inside of us now. Now that I'm realizing that. Yeah. And then it does get stored. Yes. And
it shows up.
And it shows up
in the most when you're time.
Not when you having relations with your husband where you can do
whatever
and you should really feel free, but then you're in bondage because it's a guilt that comes over you. Yes. And I can see that. I can see that because I feel like where I'm from, it was a lot of grown men targeting younger girls, and I don't care how we carried ourselves or anything, but it was inappropriate behavior. Yeah. And just imagine, just imagine being in a household where you are with a lot of my friends were in single households, single women households,
single parent,
or just single parent households. And the attention of a guy, even a boy, a man, whatever. Sometimes you just want that male attention. Yeah. You don't plan on having sex. You don't plan on it going that far. It's the attention you get. It makes you feel good, and it makes you feel flattered, like wanted. And sometimes sometimes you just want to hug. Like, I mean, you want to, I know we didn't hug a lot. We didn't touch a lot. Yeah. And I still sometimes get uncomfortable with a lot of touching and or whatever. And so because of that, I think a lot of my, like, teenage, like, a lot of sexual partners was just the lack of touch, like the lack of being
so it's like you long for the touch, and you allowed yourself to, like, I'm gonna have sex with you, but I really just want the touching. Yeah. But I'm gonna go ahead and go through the sex part because that's what you want.
Yeah, that's because you want it, not because I wanted that. Yeah. And then it also, the worst. This is the worst feeling. The worst feeling is having sex with somebody and afterwards feeling like a hoe. Like, just...
Oh, my God.
The whole feeling. I think every woman has felt...
I said that even in our, after finding out Brian got married.
Yeah.
My mind switched. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even though I became very promiscuous, I still felt like a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? And then, like, why are you doing? Like, having these conversations with myself. Like, why are you doing this?
Right.
Like, you don't really like this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're really just here.
You just here.
Why have you gone through with this?
To take up space and time.
Yeah. And the book that I was reading, it was also just talking about how we have been programmed to even use our bodies to like as payment or compensation for certain things, and that's just not what it was created for. Right. Like, for us to be as powerful as we are, we would need to be more aware of our bodies and what allowing a man to come into our bodies actually is. We would need to be more aware so that we wouldn't
so freely.
Yes. Like, allow people to weaponize our bodies and allow our bodies to be used in such demeaning ways. Because if you think about it, like you said, you're asking yourself, like, why am I doing this? I remember just wanting to, like, because Anthony and I weren't together, and not feeling like I didn't want to feel stuck. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to feel stuck. Like, you're living your life, and here I am just sitting on a stump. Like, I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm a good looker. I can get dudes, you know, but I used, having sex with some of the other people that I had sex with was about, like, me trying to prove something to myself.
I was doing it out of revenge.
And it's like, and you felt horrible after it.
You felt bad.
It ain't like he was about to know. It ain't like I was about to call him and be like, guess what I did tonight?
Right.
None of that mattered. It didn't matter.
But mentally.
But in my mind, I was like, this is revenge. It was almost like it gave me a reason, I guess.
That's horrible.
You know what I'm saying? When I probably wouldn't have been doing none of that. Like, legit, just in how I am and how I carry myself, like, for real. That would have not been the outcome, like, for real. But in my mind, I literally switched, and it became about revenge.
And you were hurt.
Yeah.
And you don't know where to store that hurt.
Yeah.
Because I've been hurt before and just didn't know how to handle hurt. So, with me, you keep moving. Yeah. You push it down, you keep moving. And so now that when I got older, that I'm very selfish with my time. Yeah. If I give you my time, I love you. If I don't give you, if I don't give you no time, I don't really care. I ain't
messing with you, right?
I don't really mess with you because I'm really intentional with my time because you can't get time back. Yeah. You can't get time back. And so, looking back, to when I was, I was doing things that just were uncharacteristic of my personality. Right. I realized, like I said, I just probably needed a hug from my father. Like, really, let's be clear. Legit, just really, like,
I can agree
everything is going to be okay. You get what I'm saying? Yes. Yeah. Everything's going to be okay. Like,
almost like somebody to step in.
Yeah.
And, because that's what I feel like that's what parents, even when you're an adult, like I was a young adult, when that happened to me in my mind, said changed in that moment. But it's like to not have even a parents that were transparent and, that I could be transparent with, that were present, what I'm saying? Like, in my life like that I could be like, yo, I'm feeling like this, something like that.
Thank you.
Like, I really hope I hope that what I'm doing now as a parent is leaving room for that when they are adults. Like, now my son, like, I'm so, like, I'll be so grateful that my son talks to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I really believed, like, when he left, just because I guess that's what I experienced, that it just wasn't, there was no communication. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, like, real far in between, But, and I thought that that's what was going to happen, like, for real. But he proved me wrong, like, legit. You know what I mean? And I felt like it really validated me as a mom. You know what I'm saying? As a parent, like, wow, like, you really do trust me with your life and your decisions and you know what I mean? Like, we have long conversations just about all kinds of stuff, you know? And that has really, really helped me, like, for real. Just helped validate me as a woman, as a mother, as a friend, you know what I mean? In that way, and that I'm able to what I say to him now holds value. And I hope that I'm pushing that as well for my girls, like when they get, when they get to his age.
Yeah.
And that they'll be like, Mom, you know what I'm saying? And it'd be like,
let me tell you.
Right. And then not be like, I gotta be like,
because because I didn't share a lot with my parents, and they didn't know a lot of what I went through, and they'll probably be like, "You went through all that?"
Yeah.
And then I didn't share a lot with anybody because I felt like I was going to be judged.
Yeah.
But one thing about, like I said, my daughter is, she pretty much tells me the truth, whether I'm judging or not.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that she is able to live in her womanhood and be and be okay
and be confident.
And that's good. Like for you, that should be valuable. You know, like you should feel like, man, I've done a good job. Like I did not repeat what was done to me. You know what I'm saying?
Was done to me,
like
and
I really did take it and flip it.
Yeah.
And and give them something that they'll be able to really, really live from, and then and it'll get even better for their children. You know what I mean? Because they realize how valuable it is.
Yeah.
Yep. Just stopping that generational curse.
Yeah.
Because my mother did it to me, her mother did it to her, her mother did it to her, her mother did it to her, and they never
addressed
relationship with your spouse, your significant other, how to handle, how to resolve, how to all that. So I am hoping that moving forward, my children, or the blessing is my children are more healed than me. Their children will be more healed than them, and then we can stop certain generational curses, the guilt that we carry, the shame that we carry, and it's not our guilt or shame to carry. When a grown man violates a child and we carry the guilt of that, then that's not fair to us as women. Because we just now getting a voice anyway as women. We're just getting voices where we can speak up. Share and speak up and feel comfortable and not be judged. Because I remember it was a case in the 90s where the woman was raped, and because she didn't have panties on, the jury thought, well,
she wanted it.
She came forward tonight. No.
And so, and then even my thinking, I had to go back and it's like, it was so toxic. We were taught that behavior. We were taught, like, what were you doing to deserve that? You shouldn't have been over there with that grown man anyway. Well, that grown man shouldn't have took me over there. And how, we as women have to allow women to be women and be human, and we don't always make the right decision. But that is not my fault or my shame to carry that. And I would like to say, in going into relationships, go ahead and go to therapy. Go ahead, before you get married, go ahead and get the help. Sacrifice money to get the help that we need to go into the marriage whole, so you're not finding out throughout your marriage what your issues are, and you can become the best version of yourself you can become, so you can be freely sexual. And whatever that sexy is to you, you can create it in the beginning, because marriage counseling is, would you die for him? Like the marriage counseling is not.
It's cap.
It's cap, because it don't teach you, like, when finances are low. You don't feel sexy because you're worried about other stuff, or when your children are going through something, you're worried about what your children going through, and it's still a sexual desire there, right? And so you just wanna go in and really discuss, like, real issues, because we did marriage counseling. It was just like one day, a couple of hours. I don't know. It just wasn't. It didn't prepare me for what was coming. And what was coming was, it was a lot of. I was hurt coming into the marriage. Jason was hurt coming into the marriage. Then we get our hurt together, and then we hurt each other.
Trash.
We're hurting each other.
A lot of trash.
It was a lot of trash, and a lot of people, they see. this version of us.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, we were two hurt people that came together that we really needed to resolve before we even got married.
Yeah.
And because, you know, we brought those issues into our marriage, we had to keep falling forward.
Yeah.
Why didn't you get a like, you know, like, how did you stay so long? We just didn't get a divorce.
Yeah. We just decided.
We just decided we wasn't getting a divorce.
Yeah.
That
Man,
was
so
it.
if we were to leave the audience with something, you know what I'm saying, just out of this conversation, because we're definitely going to have plenty more conversations where it's just us, where we can, you know, talk the vulnerable things that we wouldn't want to say in front of our husbands, kind of thing. And that's, you know, really more geared towards women, and, you know, hopefully we're speaking for them. You know what I mean? It may be people that are just like, she don't know what she's talking about.
Right. That ain't me.
You know
Girl,
what I mean?
please.
But there are, you know, some women that'll be like, man, I'm just glad somebody said it out loud. You know what I mean? So it's like, if we were to leave them with something, you know what I'm saying? Like, Amy, what could you like close us out with for the women that are watching or listening to this podcast right now?
I would say, love yourself. Love yourself and know that you are worthy of receiving love and giving love, however that looks for you. That's what I would say. Because when you start loving yourself, the self-care comes. When you start loving yourself, the sexual desire comes, because you want to please. You want to please him, but you want to be pleased too. And I think that it's all how you feel about yourself. So let's start with just asking the question, do I love myself? And do I love myself? Or how do I get to love myself? Like, how do I start to love myself? How do I talk to myself in my head? Not the conversations you say out loud, but what do you think about yourself in your head? What does that small voice say? And start, you know, if you got to look in the mirror every day and say, I love you, until you believe it. Fake it till you make it. Like, for me, you know, but do you love yourself? And start. And if you don't, start.
Yeah.
And if you, and then if it's hard for you to figure it out, go get a podcast. Get an Audible book. Like, it's information out there that can help you get to just loving yourself. Because once I really said, Amy, I do love me, that's when things change in my life. And it changed in a lot of areas of my life, not just one, a lot of areas.
To piggyback off of what Amy said, I would definitely say love yourself, but I will also say, like, don't be afraid to identify your village. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's important. And I always say this, they say it takes a village to raise a child, but that child will become a teenager who becomes a young adult, who becomes a woman or a man, you know what I'm saying? Etc. And the village is still necessary at every level. And a lot of times we go through life alone and you feel helpless because you feel like you're the only one. And even our conversation here, whether you agree with it or not, we're just trying to say it's okay to have the conversation. You know what I'm saying? We're three imperfect women with different walks of life who decided to, you know what, we're going to have this conversation. So identify your village that you're able to be transparent with, to have real conversations with. And then I think it's really important, if you're out there, you have you have a daughter, it's important that we empower our daughters. Yeah. And how can you empower your daughter to love herself if you're not loving yourself? I mean, I think it was God's grace, you know, for us in some cases, you know, where my daughter may have caught some things that I didn't necessarily have from my mother. Like you guys were talking about when it came to your kids. I'm grateful that my daughter is able to talk to me. I'm grateful that she can come to me and say, Mom, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm feeling. Me and this boy, this is what I did. Even my son. So I'm grateful about that. But I think we need to continue empowering our daughters to love themselves for themselves. A lot of times we empower them, say, girl, because when you grow up and get a husband, for yourself.
For yourself.
Just for you. Empower them and let's get that ship turning. You know what I'm saying? Let's turn that tide so that everything is not about us, you know, empowering them to be the next wife. No, you need to be the next loving woman who cares for herself, who is empowered. And then whatever you choose to do from there will sprout and will be fruitful. So that's one of the things I would say, or a couple of things I would say.
Well, it's been a great conversation.
Great conversation.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Family by Choice with the ladies.
FBC.
It's a girls' night.
It's a girls' night. FBC. Love you guys.
Bye.